Hello, my beautiful people. And today we're going to be trying to tell you over the loud screaming of children how the used vinyl market is corrupt and what you're going to be able to do to be able to fight it. The first reason is, and why it's corrupt, is the biggest, and that it's a great place to hide cash and be able to make money under the table, no taxes. And this is so many people that I've encountered from Facebook Market and Craigslist and going into shady garages. And you find so often, time and time again, that they don't want to pay taxes. They want to do all cash. They don't want to be tracked. They don't want to use Square Cash or Venmo or Cash App or whatever you're using to try to pay to be able to track. And since I'm a business, Fading Petals, and the link will be in the description, we try to do it honestly. And in fact, there's so many times where it makes more sense to be able to buy on eBay or buy any way which I can be able to track the money, because then my costs, my business costs, they're a write off. But these sellers, they make it very difficult because by going cash only, they're showing what they're willing to work for. And not that they're cheaper, but that they're willing to, uh, they're trying to work often. I know quite a few of them. They have a disability of some sort, they're getting paid for it, and they're doing records on the side, running all over the state to be able to get great records and all cash. So they're very corrupt, and this leads to, well, this group of people that play such a primary role in the market. Well, they don't really care about grading. They don't clean. They don't take any pride in it, unfortunately. And so uh, here we do a lot of ultrasonic cleaning. We do some severe grading, and it's like, well, why should you buy from a reputable seller instead of trying to gamble with some of these buyers? And why is this corruption leading to such a disastrous path for vinyl uh, that I foresee being an issue and really hurting the industry over the next 20 years? And so also another difficult problem with vinyl is it's so difficult to sell. So if you were to buy something like a record, well, you're viewing it as a collectible, and and this is a difference between a collector and a reseller or a restorer like me, is that everybody values things differently. A collector, they're saying, well, I spent $45 on this album, it's worth $45. And a reseller is going to say it's actually worth $10, and I'm going to get probably 30 for it. You spent too much at 45. And a restorer is going to look at it and be able to say, well, it needs heavy cleaning. It's worth $15, $20, and I can get $45 for it. So there's always this level of knowledge that it takes, and there's so many times that you can get caught. Do you know how many different you know albums of Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon is, and which ones are worth money? And you might be able to go on Discogs, but guess what? That's not the price that people pay, isn't the price that items are even posted for. And there's a big discrepancy, usually about an extra 30% is what people are asking and what they're paying. And I check this consistently using eBay Terapeak. It tells me what people are asking for a record, and it tells me what people are buying it for. And you see that 30% slide. So if it's maybe $25, $30, people are really paying like 18, $20 for it. So uh, the level of knowledge that it takes to be able to resell your collection, it's just not going to be worth it if you're going to say, well, I've done all this collecting, I'm going to sell them now. It's like you're going to get absolutely raked over the coals by these untrustworthy sellers. They're going to say, we pay $1 for vinyl, that's it, per record. Take it or leave it. And you're going to feel disadvantaged because you don't really always know what your vinyl's worth. And so you got to find somebody reputable to buy them. Or you need to do something creative. Here's a few creative things. I had comic books. I didn't know what they were worth, so I took all of the comics and I put them on Facebook Market, and I said, I did a huge flip through on YouTube, and I said I'll be taking offers for the next few days. Lo and behold, I went from $25 offers to up to 700. And so you're able to, by being able to leverage people against one another, you're able to make more money. Now, I didn't even end up selling them, but it just shows that even if you don't know what you have, you can still get a good price by being patient, and you could do the same thing with vinyl. Another way of being able to sell it yourself is, and this is the hard work, is you just open an eBay account and you start auctioning and saying you don't know what they're worth. These are my uncle's collection, and I did that for my uncle. This is when I started out with vinyl. Had no idea what I was doing, and his collection was hard rock gold. I still wish that I had it today, but he ended up, we split it 50-50 and we both made $3,000. So can you imagine? He had a garage sale where a bunch of his albums went for $1. He didn't sell them all, fortunately. He only put a few of them out there, but that's exactly what happens when you don't know the value of your collection. And a lot of those shady sellers, they look for these people. They target you, and they're going to go and they're going to get your Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon for $1, and they're going to go and they're going to sell it for $50 and not do a single thing to do any of the restoration. Where I'm a reseller, I come in, and I'm going to be like, well, that's not $1, sir. I'm going to give you $20 for that, and then I'm going to ultrasonically clean it, and then I'm going to play test it, and then I'm going to grade it, and then I'm going to sell it for $60. And so that's the difference between the valuation of a reseller, of a flipper, of a restorer like me, and of course of an end customer. And there are ways to appreciate your stuff. You have to look at it as my vinyl's going to appreciate, but I also need to know how to sell this. I need to know what the pressing is. I need to know that the grade on it is accurate. And it's difficult. And so at the end of the day, your collection's yours for you to enjoy and to be able to have something and to be able to listen something that very few people have. And the last part of why the vinyl industry is corrupt is going to be how difficult and murky the grading standards are. You can look at the Goldberg grading standard and, it's a VG+. Is it really now? Just because it plays, there's plenty of crackling in it, but then, only a little bit here and there. So it's, it plays well. It's a VG+. No, it's not, but unlike comic books and cards, you don't have anybody you go to that's like CGC that will grade it and be able to confirm, that this is a near mint album or this is an EX album. And you see this in comic books. You could sell a record that's not, a comic that's not graded for $100. But you do that with, you get it graded and it comes in at a 9.8 and all of a sudden it's worth $2-3 grand. We need a business like that. We do. And the only way to do it would be where you take a sealed Michael Jackson, a Pittman press, and a Terre Haute press, and you get 3-4 presses of the original first press, and you have them where you would have the you would have them record electronically through the computer. And then when somebody would send you a Michael Jackson and they'd say, can you grade this? You would actually be able to compare the different recordings from the one that they sent you and your essentially new one and be able to compare these presses. And from there, you'd be able to give an accurate grade. And that's so difficult because there's so many different presses that you'd have to consider to be able to say, well, this is, in the top percentile, a 9.9. On the grading scale. And if you'd managed to do that, you would see that, yes, you could sell a vinyl for 10, 14 grand, 8 grand, just because you'd be able to have this proof that the grade is what it is. But the vinyl industry, it's corrupt. There's none of that because it'd be so difficult and so expensive to get that business going because of the different pressings. Now, how do you fight this? And the first thing is you cannot buy from the low integrity sellers. The minute they show their hand and they start doing weird stuff, um, you need to really back out, because their only goal is to beat you. Once they show themselves as a person with low integrity, and I've seen many of these, and I don't go back to them. And it doesn't matter if it's a good deal, because it's about, you buy from them once and you'll realize later that they took you to the house. And it's because that's what they do for a living. They manipulate people, and they're out to win. And so when I buy vinyl, I have people that trust me, and we shake hands and we look each other in the eye, and we try to do what's best for each other. And businesses, it's about making friends, and as much as it is about everybody making money. And so that's what we do here. I go and I tell somebody how much it's worth, and they trust me because I do what's right for them too. And so there's many different ways to buy, even less expensively than buying from an online seller or reseller like me. And another way to fight it is by being able to challenge your grading, your online sellers. Just because I've sold a couple thousand records doesn't mean I know jack, folks. I could still be just using my vinyl sales as a way to say, I know more about vinyl than you do, and you don't know how to grade, and and I'll sell, everything I sell has free returns, because we know that my grading standards and what you think, they could be different. So, I don't grade by ear for this point, because my ears are very generous. They go, oh, that sounds like a VG. No. Don't do that. Just grade strictly scratch count, nick count. They know exactly what they're getting regardless of how it actually sounds, because that's what it takes to put the work in. And so be able to challenge sellers on their grading. Just because they sold so many records doesn't mean that they're not out to get you. And when you see that they're generous, be able to put that in the reviews. Don't be afraid to give bad reviews to sellers that seem like they just are taking advantage of people. And the last would be is to buy from reputable sellers. It's fun to gamble, isn't that? I mean, at the very heart of so much vinyl collecting is that it's a great way to buy vinyl cheaply and feel like you've got this great thing. I bought it for $4, it's worth $40. But at the end of the day, there is so many sellers out there like me that really know what they're doing when it comes to cleaning and grading vinyl. And what I do with vinyl, very few people can do. I can take records from the 60s and make them sound brand new again. And I just did that with this beautiful jazz collection. And there's a reason why some of those jazz records, they're worth $300, $350, and they sound beautiful. And I'm not sure that you could do that by yourself. So when it comes to this one-of-a-kind, listening experience, that you want to receive, you can really get that with some high-end, reputable sellers. And when it's on the top shelf of your collection, you're going to be really proud of it, because it's an example of my blood, sweat, and tears as well, that you're able to enjoy such a fine work of art, and listen to some classic jazz that, yeah, there's scratches, sure, but you hardly ever even hear them. And what you're playing, it's, something that you can't just go to the store and buy brand new. So that's the problem with the used vinyl market, and these are some great ways to try to fight it and to be able to maybe hopefully grow and build a community that's going to be able to have a lot of smart buyers that are able to say, you know what, we know what the vinyl market is, we know why it's corrupt, and we're not going to support the shady side of it. And with that, everybody, we're going to have some more coming up this weekend, but thank you, and have a great weekend.